All right, we're back here, episode 6. Clark, it's been a fun time here watching this college football playoff kind of just play out, and you know, coming off of the Lions game, which I was super stressed about with the way that ended. It was good to see the ending of the Michigan-Alabama game kind of going our direction that we wanted to. I mean, I know you're a Florida fan, but really, I'm not trying to say like I told you so and we told you so, but everything we said kind of happened, did it not?
I mean, with the exception of our prediction, but
but my prediction was close. My score,
yeah.
you know?
I literally just watched our last episode back, and you literally said it was going to be a one-score game. Like I was correct with, McClellan having a better game than Corum,
right?
In terms of stats and whatnot, and more efficient and things of that nature. And
yeah.
So we definitely were kind of spot on with a lot of the stuff that we were saying. But and again, I tried to keep the bias out of it. And there's one reason that we'll get into a little bit later as we get into this conversation as to why I didn't pick Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, it was a little dicey in the beginning because one of the things we talked about is they need to start off hot. They need to get a good start. JJ's first pass, a pick, and then it wasn't a pick. And really, if that is a pick, right, that could change the whole trajectory of that game because they were
100%.
in Michigan's end. I'm going to say they're probably going to get points in some way or another. And then the momentum is completely on that side. Now, it ended up with McClellan getting a big touchdown later on, and, they kind of took over the game there. And then Michigan was able to do some things on defense. I really, really, really liked when they would blitz, because when they did blitz, it worked. I mean, we were getting pressure all day. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, and like I just stated, though, too, like this is my one reason why I didn't pick Michigan. Tell me when this year or in years past under Harbaugh we've seen that type of speed from Michigan on defense.
Honestly, man, because the fear
we've never seen that type of defense of speed out of Michigan, which is why I did not pick them. I just thought Alabama would actually absolutely run all over the place on them with their speed, and they just didn't do that. That front four, front seven, whatever you want to say, absolutely wreaked havoc to save that slow secondary.
How about Port Huron Northern representing, right?
Yes, sir. Braden McGregor, stand up.
Hey, two sacks.
Two sacks, 2 tackles for losses. And that was another thing, too. That kind of surprised me, too, because Alabama is known for their defense and, things of that nature. Like, they only had 3 tackles for losses, 2 sacks.
Yeah.
All game.
Well, that just shows you, Zinner wasn't even in there. Right. And like depth, like next man up. I know they say that, but like it really is that way from Michigan because they got talent behind talent. And when you get your guys ready in case they need to play, which listen, when that happened, very unfortunate, but they had some time to get their backups ready, right? And it showed, man, they were ready to play. I mean, the ending of that game. Well, before I get to that, I will say this: I think Alabama started to figure out a little bit, right? Because when they would rush, when Michigan was rushing off the edges, their QB was going right up the middle, right? And then he was starting to get some yards, and it was starting to get a little soft in the middle there. So I was a little concerned, but then his ball security was a little bit questionable, and I think it got to his confidence, and I think he was just thinking too much.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, again, he's a true freshman, and Michigan absolutely knew that, obviously, like anybody else does. He's a true freshman. What do? You put pressure on him. That's when, they mess up, and that's what Michigan did basically all night was just wreak havoc on him to throw him off and basically forced him to try to win the game with his feet.
Yeah, and you know what? He had a few throws in that game where you're like, okay, this kid's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's not there right now. Just curious what your thoughts were, though, of J.J. McCarthy, and because there was a few throws there where I think his receivers kind of bailed him out as well. Now he had a good game stat-wise, but there's going to be some times where he's going to have to make some big throws against Washington as well. What'd you feel about him? Was a little bit shaky at some times, but he made the big plays when he needed to.
Yeah, no, he was definitely shaky. Again, I mean, obviously, the past losses, the last 2 years in the football playoffs, obviously creeps into your head
Yeah.
a little bit. You know what I mean? Because he desperately wants to win, as does anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, those definitely played a factor in my opinion. But like you said, he made some great throws, to put his team in position, especially in that last drive when they were down 20-13.
Oh yeah.
Throwing he threw a few dots on that drive that were pretty, impressive. And if Michigan does go on to win this, national championship, which I expect them to do, which we'll get into a little bit later, but Roman Wilson's the unsung hero. If he doesn't go
Oh
up and
great.
grab
They
that
are
tip
waiting to pick
ball,
that off.
if he doesn't
Two
go up and grab
guys.
that tip ball, like Alabama's returning that, and the game's over.
Yeah, 100%. And we need to touch on this right now. Special teams has got to be better. I mean, the special teams was
Yeah.
just atrocious for Michigan. You missed that extra point. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I don't know if it was a high snap or
I
he
thought it was a.
just
I
pulled
thought it
it
was a. I
low
thought it was
snap.
a low snap. He didn't even kick it.
See, that's the thing. And, that could have really cost them too. For a while there, you're like, oh, man, down by 4. Like, we can't. Well, this is tough. But, they saw. And then, I'm sorry, at the end of the game there, muffing that punt. I thought, now, credit to the young man because he held onto the ball, but he got absolutely lit up. And I thought he was going to fumble it.
I mean, that ball that you're literally standing at the 5-yard line. There's no reason to field that ball.
No.
Let it go in the end. Don't take the ball to 25.
But what's Harbaugh calling a timeout though for?
Yeah, that I didn't understand. I don't know if it was mind games to make Saban think he was going to try something
I'm like,
stupid
dude,
whatever,
we're right there at the goal line. I don't want
to. You're literally at the 6-inch yard line. Like, what are you going to do? Like,
right.
It didn't make sense to me. Like, let the clock run out, go to overtime. Thankfully, it didn't bite them in the butt. And then, we're able to prevail in overtime. But yeah, that was definitely a head scratcher.
Maybe it was a sense of, okay, we're only going to get one timeout in overtime. So we'll use this one here. We'll talk. Hey, guys, we're going to overtime. Let's go win it. You know what I mean? Maybe he was utilizing an extra timeout. I don't know.
But even then, that close to the goal line, a botch snap, something stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to cost you the game with the safety. Like I don't like it no matter what it was. You're going to have a TV timeout before overtime starts. Like
you're right. You're right.
Talk then.
Yeah, it was a little strange, man, but they were able to overcome. Blake Corum, just an absolute Michigan legend. I mean, he really is, man. Edwards didn't have as good a game as I thought, and he really hasn't been impactful this year like I thought he would be. And that's a little bit puzzling to me. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think, based on how he played last year, he should have came out. Based on the way he played this year, he needs to come back next year.
Has to. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot to prove, man.
He's got a lot to prove after a huge down year, in my opinion. So if he comes back, I mean, I expect a huge year out of him as the lead back.
Of course.
With Mullins backing him up.
Yeah. So listen, they made it to the national championship game, but let's talk about their opponent because I got to tell you, for a long time there, I'm like, okay, well, Quinn Ewers is not playing well. Washington's got this in the bag. Man, we almost seen one of the craziest comebacks ever. In any sport. I mean, because there's an injury time out there, basically.
Right.
Which is just, they may need to look at the rule there or something because that right there could have lost Washington the national champ or a chance to get to the national title because Ewers was a completion away. Mere inches from completing one.
The defender literally knocked it away like the last split second.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's in his hands, and it just depends on if he gets his feet in bounds or not.
Well, yeah, and the possession before that was a touchdown. That was in the same spot. Yeah. So that was just football's a game of inches, like we say. But what were your thoughts about Washington? Because I got to tell you, Michael Penix is no joke. He's going to be maybe the best quarterback they played all season.
Michael Penix, like I said on our last pod, talking about both games, I believe is the best quarterback this year in college football. By the number, I think they backed that up as well. Washington, I mean, they're loaded on offense. They had 5 guys in that game, average 10 yards a catch.
Yeah, which is nuts.
On average, I think they had like a guy with 3 catches, a guy with 5, a guy with 6, another guy with 5.
I think it's Oduze or
Oduze and
Ross
Jalen Polk.
Polk, that's who it is. Yep. But man, they got some dudes on that team. And Penix, the thing about him too is his deep ball, perfect tight spiral, perfect.
Michigan's gonna have to play a similar game like they did on defense against Alabama to stop Penix. The dude threw for 430 yards.
Yeah, and it was like I feel like he could have had like 500. You know what I mean? It was just
easily 550.
Like there was Go ahead.
He left some throws on the field for sure.
Agreed. Some receivers, close to some deep balls that he got to. Listen, I will say this though. Texas, you can say what you want about them. Michigan's defense is better than Texas. It's, you can say what you want about the offense, whatever. I'm fine with that, saying it's a wash or Texas has got the edge maybe on some of their players. I don't know. It's pretty close, but defensively, we have the best defense maybe Michigan's ever had. So the fact, and they're quick, and they get pressure, and they're. I think we saw last game versus Alabama. I really like the play from their corners and their safeties. They played tremendous in that game. So I think this is a matchup that favors, in my opinion, Michigan. But this is going to go down to the wire again.
I kind of disagree this time. I'm full-heartedly this game on Michigan. I think it's double digits.
Oh wow, really? You think it's that bad?
I think it's double digits.
The defense of Washington is poor.
Exactly, that defense is poor. Michigan's going to put points.
You're right on that.
They can stop Washington. The key is going to be, can Washington stop Michigan? Because I think this is a game that Michigan wins like 31-20, 31-21 type of game.
Yeah.
I think, don't get me wrong, I think Penix is going to put up 300 plus yards. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. But I don't think he's going to be able to put up the 30 plus points that's going to be needed to beat Michigan.
So let's play a game here, okay? So Michigan wins on Tuesday. Do we hear Jim Harbaugh staying or leaving? Because I think he's gone.
I don't know if it'll come as early as Tuesday, but I agree with you.
See, Paul Feinbaum says it will.
I think at some point he will be gone though, and if he's smart, he's gone in.
Oh yeah.
If he's smart, he's taking that Chargers job.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that, and I think this Michigan contract that's on the table is for $15 million a year. I think that's leverage. I think that's all it is for him. I don't think Michigan knows that, or maybe they do. I don't know, but I think it's okay. Listen, I'm going to win a Natty. I'm leaving. I want to win a Super Bowl. I played against my brother, didn't get it. He wants one, man.
Right.
So, and I think he's shown he's a great coach. He's a great coach. He's done it in the pros as well, with the way that he developed Colin Kaepernick. Which, say what you want about him, but he was close to winning a Super Bowl, and the perfect offense for him. And they had a dominant defense, right? That's the 49ers always seem to, but. Right. So they were close, man. They were close. I think Harbaugh will get about $20 million a year as a coach in the NFL. I believe it, because I think he will, man. Because if you're looking at Ben Johnson, he's telling people he wants like $13 to $14 million. If he's going to get,
I heard 15.
Okay, even if say 15, Jim Harbaugh's worth more than that, man. I don't know. I think, and if you're LA, you got the money, so maybe you do that. It's attractive, like you said. Justin Herbert, Allen, you got Quentin Johnson there, Mike Williams if he comes back and is healthy. Eckler. You got some pieces. And then on defense, you got Bosa, and Mack had a heck of a year for them.
In a couple of years when he's eligible for the draft, bring in Loveland. Because they need a tight end on
they're going to need one. So. Yeah, they got Everett there, which Gerald Everett is just a dude. Yeah, he's just a guy.
And Harbaugh's going to bring in some of his dudes. You know that.
Oh, yeah. And they're great.
If he lands there, no matter where he lands.
Well, if he
wins, some of his guys.
I had my decision made up for the longest time that he was going to go to the Raiders, but I think Antonio Pierce won that job.
Yeah, he deserves that job. Antonio Pierce has absolutely showed that he can coach. He knows X's and O's. He knows defenses. He knows how to scheme.
And he's a player. They respect him.
Yeah, he absolutely deserves that job, at least on a 1 or 2 year deal
Yeah.
to see if it's kind of a fluke year or if it's something. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't give him anything long term until I see it for a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think
Because
also
we all seen, like I think even Josh McDaniels, who I think is a terrible head coach, had a good year in
terrible.
Denver he had a good year in Denver 1 year. You know what I'm saying? That flipped him into a multi-year deal with the Raiders, which he ended up being just complete trash.
Well, we all knew that. I mean, but I think Mark Davis screwed it up with Rich Bisaccia that when he let him go, he wanted to hire him. And I think this is another interim thing where it's like, listen, the guys are responding. I don't know if O'Connell's the guy. He's had some good games and then he disappears. But the fact that they're getting close and they're winning some games as well with the talent that they have or lack thereof. I mean, they got Devontae Adams and a few. Max Crosby, in my opinion, is the best defensive end in the game. But that's just, I mean, you can debate that, but he's in the conversation, the top three.
He's top three for sure.
He's top three.
To me, in no specific
order. Bosa, I get it too.
It's Watt, Bosa, Crosby,
and that's fine. And you can mix those up any way you want. Yeah. They change a game at a position that not a lot of teams have a guy, right? So, I mean, like you look at the Lions, for example, not to get off topic, but you got Hutch, and Hutch isn't even on that level. You know what I'm saying? But he's
not yet, but he's getting there.
He's getting there, and he could totally be there. But you need a guy like that off the edge to bring consistent pressure. Before we get into the Lions, anything else you got left on this game?
No.
Could be good.
I'm just excited for it to get here, man. Like I
know.
Like, I was close. Like I told you, I thought like what the spread would be for like each team. I said like 3.5 versus Texas, 5.5 versus Washington.
Yeah.
It opened up at 4.5. So
I seen that, but it's 3.5 in most places. But I think what is it? FanDuel has them at 4.5.
4.5. I just actually I checked ESPN right before I got on here.
So it's everywhere. It's at. In sports books?
I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know ESPN.
I know at least it's 3.5. Those two, like you're saying, definitely 4.5. Yeah. But I mean, that's huge right now because I actually think as you get closer, it's going to get a little bit spread out even more because,
I think it can get upwards to 5.5, 6.5,
which is significant for for a game like that. Let's transition to the Lions. Made some news the other day, getting rid of Isaiah Buggs, a guy who signed a 2-year deal in the offseason. I know Aleem McNeil's healthy. Some other guys are getting healthy. Gardner Johnson's coming back. Kind of a little shocked, though, because a team that really struggled to get some pressure on the quarterback outside of Hutch, that seemed like a guy that does get some pressure. I know he had an interception. I think it was against the Ravens. He had a sack against the Packers. But kind of a head scratcher. But I don't know if he just didn't fit with this team or he wanted to release. What are your thoughts on that, man?
No, I thought he was playing really well the last few weeks. But yeah, I'm with you there. I don't get it at all. Your defensive line is not that great as it is. Come playoff time, you need depth across both your lines. So releasing a guy who's been, somewhat productive for you, close to the playoffs doesn't make much sense to me. To me, it's telling me that you're going to play McNeil, 80-90% of the time, like he's going to be exhausted. Like,
well, not to mention he's been injured.
There's not really anybody behind him now.
No. So that was a little troubling for me. I mean, I don't think they're going to just activate 37-year-old Bruce Irvin. Like, I don't even know if he's on the practice squad anymore. I haven't heard much about him, but I saw their rookie Stephen Gilmore is at corner. I don't know where he came from, but I see that and I'm thinking like Stephen Gilmore, like the good all-pro Gilmore, but it's not. But it's Stephon Gilmore. But
yeah, he's with Dallas.
But I don't know who this dude is. But anyways, they say they like him. They like his game. Having Gardner Johnson, who apparently changed his name to Deuce or something.
Deuce something, yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't keep up with all this. But like, anyways. It's Ron Artest is his name, right? Not Meta World. Right. No, but he's going to be healthy. That's going to help this secondary because once he went out, they lost a lot of that swagger. I think they've played pretty good the last couple weeks with dudes, with just guys that are not like big name guys, but like obviously giving up that 92-yard touchdown doesn't happen if you got Gardner Johnson back there. He's not going to let that happen. He's been there at the pinnacle before, and he's a guy that I think he's playing for another contract. He's only on a 1-year deal.
1-year
So
deal.
I'd like to see him come back, but I got to see him healthy. So I'm curious to you, if the season were to end today, Lions would probably, I believe they're in the 3rd spot, right?
Yeah, they are. They can't move up. They can't move down.
Yeah, talk about the Eagles, man. Just looking putrid going
I mean,
into the
the
playoffs.
only way they can get the 2 seed now is if both the Cowboys and the Eagles lose. They would have to win.
So if the playoffs were to end or to start today,
yeah, we got the Rams.
And I tell you what, the Rams, and it looks like the Rams are not starting Stafford this week either.
They're not starting Stafford, Kyron Williams, and Cooper Kupp have all been ruled out.
Well, that's smart because I mean,
you got to keep them healthy for the playoffs.
Are they going to play Puka?
I mean, those were the only 3 that I've seen that were ruled out so far. So
Cooper
Puka's playing.
Cooper Kupp has not looked like Cooper Kupp of years past. He's banged up, so he needs the rest. I tell you what, I will not sleep on Williams, man. He's been electric this year for the Rams, and he came out of nowhere in terms of where I was looking at because I just thought he was a guy filling in there, but he's been great. And if that's the case, yeah, it's exciting, but it's also a little bit scary because what do we struggle with in our secondary? Giving up the deep play. And what does Matthew Stafford do?
Throws the deep ball better than anybody.
Right. So, and Puka Nacua probably goes for 200 if they play today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think we can get by them? I think we can. I think we would win that, but it's a lot closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah, no, if I had to give you a final score projection today based on what both rosters look like with who's healthy, who's, injured, whatever, I think the Lions win that game still, but like you said, I think it's a 1-score game.
Yeah, it's just a lot closer. So
and it's just because, I mean, the Rams put up points, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think their defense is great. Donald's getting older. I think the Lions win that game, but it's going to be a lot closer just because, the emergence of Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, a couple of young studs there to kind of help, Cooper and Matthew in their old age.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Lions too, is with Jared Goff, you talked about Donald being older and stuff, but if you face a team that's getting pressure or that can bring pressure, and the Rams not so much. I think do they still have Ebcam or whatever? Like I don't even know who they have on there because it's been a while, man. But anyways,
I remember looking at the Rams roster at the beginning of the year and like on defense, and like I really only knew like Aaron Donald.
Let me pull them up because my whole thing is like Goff is going to struggle against speed clearly because he's not mobile at all, right? That's not what makes him a decent quarterback.
He's got to learn to. He's got to. One thing I noticed in the Dallas game, he doesn't step up in the pocket. He needs to learn to step up in the pocket.
He really does. I mean,
a couple of those sacks that he took, like I literally played those a couple plays back, and like he could have literally stepped up in the pocket 3-4 feet and then completed a pass.
All right, this is their defensive end. Their defensive ends. Aaron Donald, which we know he's not the same guy.
Right.
He's still got 8 sacks. I mean, that's okay, but it's not Aaron Donald. Jonah Williams on the other side, just 2 sacks for them. So really what that tells me is they don't rush a lot. They must not. They drop back and probably play the pass a lot, which
against the Lions you have to because they like playing in the middle of the field. So that might hurt the Lions.
Yeah, that could hurt them. The only other guy that kind of stands out to me is Jordan Fuller. I think he's a pretty good player. He's out of Ohio State, but he's got 60 tackles for a safety. So that also says when you got that many tackles, you're giving up plays. So, right? So I'm not shocked by that. I mean, when you think about the Rams, you don't think, oh, McVay and that defense. I mean, I know who is their defensive coordinator, former head coach of the Bucs, I believe. You know what I'm talking about? He's got the baby face.
Is it Morris?
Yeah, Raheem Morris. Yeah, okay. So he's a good coordinator, but if you don't have players, you can only do so much. So I do not see a lot of guys on there. But what could give the Lions a hard time is definitely those receivers. I mean, but also
the offense is what's going to keep the Rams in the game.
Of course.
It's not going to be their defense. I mean, they might get a turnover, but I don't like their offense is going to put up probably 27 to 35 points.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, so the Lions just have to answer that, which I feel like they can.
So it looks like
I can see it being a lower scoring game if the Lions are doing what the Lions have done all year, running the ball and controlling it that way. But if they do that, I can see it being like a 27-24 type of game.
Yeah, I would expect a little bit more offense, but I mean, hey, we'll see. But looks like Tyler Higbee is out this week too with his shoulder, which he'll probably play in the playoffs. But that's another guy who I could see going over 100 yards because we struggle with tight ends as well.
For some reason, it doesn't matter if you're a third string wide receiver, tight end, a second string, or a starter. For some reason, they're going to put up 50+ yards.
Yeah,
it don't make sense.
It doesn't matter who it is. Josh, let's have a little fun here, man. We want to start having a few segments in our show here, and why don't we start with your segment here? Is what are we calling this? The best of the best, or what?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Sounds pretty good.
The best of the best, and you got a list every week, and you're going to give me just explain this a little bit.
Yep. So basically, we're just going to do a blind ranking here of something sports related.
Okay.
So tonight we're gonna have you blind rank sports movies. Based on my personal preference. These are my personal preferences. You might not agree with them, but
now is this 10 or 5?
So right now I have a list of 10 and I have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell you which are my top 10. I'm not going to tell you which are my 3 honorable mentions. You're going to rank them the way that you see them.
Okay. I'm making a list, a list here right now, just because my old age, I'll forget. So
yeah. So I'm gonna give these to you, just out of a random order, just
okay.
So you don't know what my order is. So yeah, let's get started with it.
Let's do it.
So first movie we're gonna go with baseball movie Bull Durham.
Okay. Now, I don't need to rank this now. I'm just gonna write these down and then, or should I rank?
No, so write 1 through 10, and then put it in the 7th spot, put it in the 6th spot,
okay.
Whatever. Once you put it there, you can't move it.
Are you telling me where you have it ranked, or are you waiting?
I'm gonna tell you my list afterwards.
Okay, go ahead.
Next movie, The Sandlot.
Ooh. I mean, my son's named after that, so just saying.
All right, you good?
Yep, let's go.
Little Big League.
Ooh, owning the Twins, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Next movie, we have Happy Gilmore.
I like it. The Price is Wrong, Bobby.
All right. Next movie, Remember the Titans.
Left side, strong side. All right.
Next movie, The Mighty Ducks.
I mean, come on, man. This is tough already. All right.
Yeah.
This is tough. Keep it moving. Let's go.
And if I'm being honest, I have a list of like 15 other movies on the side, dude. I'm just like, how did I not put that in there?
You got honorable mentions. Yeah.
All right. Next one here. He Got Game.
Ooh.
Denzel.
Okay. Ray Allen too, bro.
Yep. Jesus. Next one, Field of Dreams.
Now, what about what's it? No, actually, I'll go with your list here first, but I'm thinking
I got more.
I'm trying to. What is Love and Basketball? You got that in there?
Oh yeah, Love and Basketball on here. So we'll go with that one, or we'll go with that one. Love and Basketball.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got one more.
I have 3 more because I have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Next one, Rookie of the Year.
Okay. I mean, he plays for the Cubs, so Stedman, man, Stedman.
Got to be on there. Next movie, White Men Can't Jump.
It's true. I cannot.
What's your Mac McClung?
Yes. All right. Last one.
I have 2 more, actually. Okay. I don't know where I went wrong, but 2 more. Sunset Park.
Ooh, Sunset Park. What time is it? Okay. Oh, that's a good movie. I might watch that tonight. Just saying.
Right? And then
What
the
is it? What is
last,
it? It's time to represent. It's time to.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I put that in there. I was like, I don't know if he knows this movie, but
Oh,
yeah,
come
I'm
on,
glad
bro.
you do.
I
I'm glad
know
you
it.
do. Okay, and the last one out of my top 13 that I have is Above the Rim.
Above the rim. Dude, okay. I see your list. What about the
You don't
six?
like,
I like Above the Rim, but what about the sixth man?
dude? That's
Come
literally
on,
on the
man.
dude.
What about Eddie?
That's
What about
literally on the
Eddie?
sideline. That's
Where is
dude.
Eddie at, bro?
Literally, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Angels in
so
the
hard.
outfield?
Dude, literally third one down. Third one down. Like,
Come
dude,
on, man.
it was so hard to put
Little
this list
Giants?
together. It's over there as well. It's over there as well. It's dude, it was so hard to put this list together.
Oh my gosh,
All
man.
right,
Oh my gosh.
so let's start from bottom up. Right?
All right, so you're gonna give your one, and then or
I'll
like,
give I'll give you. No, we're gonna start from the bottom up. So one's gonna be last.
no, I can't do that because I'm doing this as we
One's gonna
go.
That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna start with our 3 honorable mentions and work our way up. So I'll give an honorable mention. You give one. I'll give one. You give one.
Man,
Okay.
that's
So
tough.
one honorable mention for me. I have Bull Durham.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna tell you, Bull Durham is actually a movie I've not seen. I know that it's got Kevin
Really?
Costner.
Yep.
I know that it's got.
Yep.
So,
A very, very good movie. I would check it out for sure. You would love it. You'll
what
love
about Eight Men Out too? Another good movie.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. A lot of them. All right. So what was your
That
honorable mention?
no, that's one of my honorable mentions for sure because I
Okay.
haven't seen it. So,
No. Next honorable mention for me, Little Big League.
ooh, but
I know
his
you- I
but
know
his
you- I
grandpa
know you're-
died, and I
know you're a big fan of that movie. Where do you
Come
have
on,
that
man.
ranked at? Where do you have that ranked
you
at?
just don't need to know. We're working our way up there, but I'm gonna go. Okay, this is not a popular pick here, but let me explain why. Okay, I'm going White Man Can't Jump as an honorable mention because that one Mexican lady bothers me when she talks, man. What's her name? She just like
Gloria?
She's like
Gloria?
a dude. She's like 3 foot tall, and she just always complaining. Like they had to run out the house when people are after. Like I just don't like Gloria. Other than that, I'm good with Wesley Snipes. Like I'm good, but
Yep. No, I feel you.
yeah.
So my last honorable mention is Rookie of the Year.
Ooh man, but it's a Cub.
I
It's
know.
a Cub, dude.
I know.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Above the Rim.
Above the Rim. Ooh, so yeah, we differ on that one greatly. That's a top
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
top, I'll tell you right now, that's a top 3 for me.
fair enough. But I mean that Above the Rim now that's not. I get that and Blue Chips confused.
That's Tupac.
Okay,
Above the Rim
okay.
with Tupac.
Blue Chips is not that great of a movie either. What's that movie where?
It was on my list though. Blue Chips really was.
What's
It
the
was
one where like Matumbo or somebody like they go across like they play against a tribe or something? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
NBA player.
I know what you're talking. I don't know what it's called.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right,
But all right.
So let's
Get in
rush
the
through these
list.
a little bit. Yeah. So my number 10 is Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is He Got Game.
You got Game. Okay.
Yep.
My number 9 is Sunset Park.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good movie, but I'm gonna go.
It is.
I'm actually gonna go at number 9 as well. I love the movie, but it's been years since I've seen it, so maybe I need to watch it again.
My number 8 is White Man Can't Jump.
Okay. See, it was My number 8 is wow. This is so freaking tough, man. My number 8 is Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. I like it, but I broke my arm as a kid, and I was not able to go to the major leagues, so it's not accurate. So we're gonna go 8.
My number 7, and this shocked myself, is The Mighty Ducks.
Ooh, the original too, man. Like wow. Okay, my number 7. Little shocker here. All right, little shocker. Little Big League. I do love it. I love it, but it's like. Okay, he owns the team. He's kind of a douchey kid to the players. He's got an attitude, but hey, we'll go there.
My number 6 is He Got Game.
Okay. Why 6? Why so high?
I mean, once you hear my top five, I think it just speaks for
Okay.
itself. Like the
Yeah.
top five, to me, they're just like some of the best. I mean,
Number
in my
s-
opinion.
number six for me, Happy Gilmore.
Okay, so we're close on that one.
Yeah.
And Happy Gilmore is my number five.
Good movie, but
Yeah.
you know, my number five is going to be Remember the Titans. Love
My
it.
num. Okay, my number four is we're at number four. Right? My number
Yep.
four is Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, it's high up there. My number four is Love and Basketball. I love that movie, man. It's just like Quincy, and then but he hurts himself and he can't play, but he goes
Yep.
back to his good movie.
Yep. My number three is Above the Rim.
Okay, why?
I mean, I just grew up a basketball lover. Was a huge Tupac fan.
So you probably loved like the movie. Was it Love and Poetry or what is it?
Oh yeah, Poetic Justice.
Poetic
Stuff
Justice.
like
Wow,
oh,
Love
yeah.
and Poetry. Poetic Justice. When they're in like
Yeah.
that like ice cream truck or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's a good movie, man.
I've seen it.
I grew up a huge Tupac fan.
Dude, who were the guys that like had the high hair? Was it like Play Cool Play?
Yeah, no, it was House and Play.
House and Play. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? I just
Yeah.
saw a commercial recently with those two in there. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so
Alright.
what are we at?
Number three.
You already said yours?
Yep, Above the Rim was mine.
Okay, number three for me is going to be Field of Dreams.
Okay. My number two is The Sandlot.
Ooh, close. My number two is The Mighty Ducks.
And my number one, Love and Basketball, baby.
Wow. Okay, my number one Sandlot, and I friggin' think. Okay, so I want to know why you're number one because for me, number one, it's baseball. There's fireworks. There's hot dogs. There's just like kids getting in trouble, which I was always doing as a young kid. I know you were because I don't know you as a kid, but that's what we do as boys, right? We're mischievous, but we play sports and stuff. But I just think that movie is perfect when they got the Ray Charles playing and they're hitting, Benny the Jet's hitting a homer with the fireworks. But it's just a great, great movie. And not to mention the lifeguard. I mean, what else can you say, right? Like when Squints fakes it. Okay, why the number one for you? Why Love and Basketball?
Loving basketball. I mean, for certain reasons, obviously, I grew up loving the game of basketball.
Mhm.
Like it was literally my life, 24/7, up until my knee injuries. So that's a main reason there. I mean, just a love story behind it as well. I've always been a sucker for love.
Yeah.
So just that purpose alone. I mean, and the timing of everything. They grew up as kind of like childhood sweethearts. High school, kind of sweethearts, college lovers, and then eventually ended up getting married. So that's what everybody sets out for in life, you know what I mean? So I just kind of like the combination of the both, basketball and, finding your person.
Yeah. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with that movie because even another good sports movie, the dad is in there. Like, so the guy, the Allstate guy, so he's, what's the Cleveland Indians one with Wild Thing?
No, Major League.
Major League.
But let me give you. I have
dad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 other movies that I have listed. I have put in my top. But
Let's hear it.
So I'm gonna start from the top. I have Hoop Dreams.
I have not seen Hoop Dreams.
I would check it out. It's a great movie.
Okay.
Blue Chips.
Well, yeah.
Angels in the Outfield.
Yep.
Major League. Hoosiers. Finding Forrester.
Finding Forrester. That is a deep, deep movie. That's like deeper than sports, man.
Yeah.
That's
sure. And then one that I'm shocked I didn't put in my top 10 is Coach Carter.
oh my gosh.
That's what
Like
I'm
I
saying.
can feel like when you say Coach Carter, I can hear Twista in my ear, right?
No, right. Yeah. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like and there's even more that I know that I missed, but like just looking at the list that I have now, like it was a hard list to make.
What song is that? It was like Wish or Wonder or
Yeah, with him and I think Faith Evans.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hopeful.
That's it. But I can just see the chains on the doors right now, right? On the gym.
On the gym.
Man.
Timo Cruz.
Okay, so I got a couple movies that I'm wondering why they're not on the list for you. Okay? One, the original Space Jam.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
again,
good movie.
it's a very good movie. If you would have asked, 7 to 12-year-old Josh to make a top 10 list, it probably
Fair
would have
enough.
been number.
Okay.
Probably would have been number one.
Mystery Alaska.
Not gonna lie, I've never seen it.
It's very good, man. Very good.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna write it down.
Watch it.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's Russell Crowe. It's a hockey movie, which is probably why you haven't heard of it. But I know you watch hockey a little bit, so
Oh yeah.
give it a chance. It's a good movie. And really, you hit on so many good movies, man. Nostalgia, like the nostalgia is happening. I had to remember. I was like, oh, you're doing a podcast, like, don't say anything stupid right now. But like, man, so many good movies. So next week we gotta maybe go with what are we gonna go? Athletes or sports?
Yeah, we'll go.
I was thinking like sports TV shows too.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. I ain't gonna lie. Ooh, I already know what my number one is if we're doing that.
I already know what my number one's gonna be too. Just saying.
Yeah. No, yeah, we can definitely do that though.
Yeah. So there's some good ones out there. All right. So I got a who am I for you. Okay. So we'll do this every week, and I'll give you a couple clues. I won't make it too difficult, but I know you're a big sports fan, so I just want to see how good you are. So it'll start with some clues that maybe aren't as hard, and then we'll go from there, okay? And if you get it in the first couple, I'm going to quit. So, because there's no way you can, okay? So
I'm going to write these clues down as we go so I don't forget them.
All right. Who am I? Well, I played in the NBA. I was born on June 17th, 1970, okay? I played with Michael Jordan.
June 1970, played with MJ.
I am 6'8". I went to Murray State. My son plays in the NHL. My name is of a cartoon.
Okay, so give me a second here. So he's born June. So that means he is currently 53 years old, 54. So you're talking during the 90s he played, 80s and 90s.
And I'll give you clues. You can ask me 5 clues.
He's 6'8". Okay. Dude, yeah, I don't know. You might have stumped me on this one.
If I was if somebody asked me my favorite vegetable, it'd be a spinach.
Oh, I know who it is.
Who is it?
He was only 6'8".
Who is it?
Popeye Jones.
Popeye Jones. Yes, 6'8".
He was only 6'8".
6'8". Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't even on my mind. I thought he was closer to 7 foot.
So his son Seth Jones plays in the NHL. Now I gave you that because I know you're not a huge NHL guy, but Seth Jones is like an all-star defenseman. He's really good.
Who's he with?
Well, he was with Columbus. I think they traded him to Philly. I believe so, but he's a good player, man.
If you wouldn't have gave me, that spinach clue, I wouldn't have got it.
So Popeye Jones was starting when MJ was with the Wizards, which is amazing that Michael took them to the playoffs because it was a bunch of scrubs on the team.
Yeah.
It really was.
I mean, outside of when he had Rip for a year and then Stackhouse for a year, but
I think Popeye Jones came out as gay too later. So I don't know if you would have known that either. I could have gave that as one of your clues, but
did he really? I thought Jason Collins was.
Well, he was, but Popeye was as well. From what
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, but he's also was a coach for 11 years too, which every player feels like has coached at one point. So that wouldn't have done much, but the spinach thing gave it away. Named after a cartoon.
100%. Yeah, once you said Popeye, I was like, oh, there's only one guy that I know by
like, come on.
Outside of the cartoon, so.
Exactly. So that's the first one. In the coming weeks, we'll do more of these. I'll give you a sport, or you can give me a sport for next week. What sports you want?
Let's do some MLB, baby.
MLB. Are you sure you don't want to do MLS? I'm just kidding. I won't do that. I won't be able to do anything.
I'll be able to name you 3 people. That's it.
Yeah, I won't be able to do anything with that.
I mean, if I have a lifeline, I'm calling my buddy Kevin.
Well, there you go.
He's a huge
Dallas.
soccer guy.
Well, he's also a Dallas Mavericks fan, right? So
Yeah.
so we'll ask him how he feels about Kyrie being a Maverick, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, that's an interesting thing. Well, Josh, that's fun, man. We will be back. We'll be back on Saturday, right?
Yeah. 11 o'clock.
Sounds good. All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been good, but it's time for me to go get some food. Clark,
I'm with you.
I will talk to you soon, brother. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Peace.